Hey, beautiful people, and of course, you ugly motherfuckers too. Welcome to another episode of Pussy Talk, where we talk about controversial topics between men and women about how we're prisoner to the pussy. Today, we have the beautiful
Ivy.
Hey, beautiful. Can you
Hi.
tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Ivy. I'm 35 years old. I am a entrepreneur, a Black entrepreneur. I'm also an esthetician. I have a business by the name of Preen Artistry. At Preen Artistry, I do micro shading, which is permanent makeup, regular makeup, full face glam, weddings, birthdays, whatever, wax and tint for brows, and basically body waxing and anything that's like, pertaining under the body. It's kind of like a one-stop shop type thing.
Lady, she get them pussies together.
Yes, and pretty.
And pretty. Okay, pretty pussy. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all think because y'all little pussies is pretty that y'all pretty. She got to get all your stuff together. That means a clean face. She do them facials. That mean have all your little glam. Because when I'm talking about the pussy, I'm talking about everything in itself. So get over there to the little one-stop shop and get y'all pretty pussy on.
Yes, 928 West 38th Place, Suite 201.
Cool. Now, let's get to it. Let's get into some pussy talk. We just recently met, and she was here in the studio. Can you tell us about that?
I was here because I have a 20-year-old.
Okay.
I guess you can say maybe I wasn't popping pussy that young. It just was a mistake. So I was the girl. Literally, I was the girl who was in gym class when you're in high school and they say, don't have sex or you're going to get pregnant. That literally was me. It was like my first time having sex. It wasn't a bunch of times.
That pussy was in heat. That pussy was in heat.
It was so in heat. So me and my daughter are 15 years apart. So she just turned 20 on the 20th of February. And so that's a thing in itself. And just raising her to be mature and now that she's sexually active is like absolutely insane. And I also have a 13-year-old son. So we were here shooting for her golden birthday, and that's when I met her. And I'm like, okay, she asked me, we were talking about the podcast, and I'm really like passionate about podcasts. And I thought everything behind her and the reason why she's doing it and the fighter that she is and the ambition, I'm like, I would just love to be a part of this. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Let's talk about, your daughter. I also was a teen parent. I had my daughter at 18. So I can relate. I want my first time having sex. I was outside a little bit to a certain extent. Okay, I was outside. But I think when I had her, I can relate my prisoner to the pussy being a teen parent, right? It was like a following cycle. My mom had me at 17, 18. I had her almost the same age. And my grandmother, it'd be like those really generational curses things. And being a teenage parent is being prisoner to your pussy because really you don't even allow yourself to grow before you go right from being a child to being somebody responsible for a whole nother person, a whole nother life. You really don't even get like a youth. You just go from being a kid to having responsibilities. Mm-hmm. So you stunt your own growth. And then you got a whole nother person who's looking at up to you for responsibility, like looking at you, like, for real. So that in itself was like the whole, beginning of my prisoner to the pussy phase as I look back on that. How was that for you? Being pregnant at 15, having a baby, what was the boy like?
Prisoner to the pussy is a great term, I feel like, because I do feel like it made me a prisoner because, number one, I didn't get to the point where I was able to learn how to date. And that at that age, having a baby, feeling like this is your all and end all, and some reason for in the Black community, I feel like that's kind of pushed upon us to stay and be with this person and not date. So you become a prisoner almost by default. The moment you start having sex, I feel like.
Oh, that's a good.
And I feel like that's what it was. So I went through like a very abusive relationship with her father.
Let's talk about that. My teen parent relationship was because I don't think we ever really loved each other.
Yeah,
I think we was trauma bonded.
Of course, you did. I didn't love him either, but I didn't know what love was then. I was 15.
You know what we related off of? Both our mothers was on fucking heroin, and we thought that was the coolest shit ever because like both our mothers was missing the industry. So it was like, oh, we bond like on the fact that both our mothers is fucking dope fiends. It was the weirdest shit, and through that we was like trauma bonded, and he was beating on me too. I was like black ass and everything. I had a baby in a stroller with a black eye.
The abusive part, that was only the first abusive relationship that I was in.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that was
so how long were you guys together?
Oh, it was real brief. I was out of there. So I had the baby at 15. By the time I was rolling around to 17, it was like 16. I was working my way out. 17, I was gone.
How old was he?
He's actually, so I was 15. He's 3 years older than me.
Okay.
So that's another thing. My family was in the uproar because they felt like that was like statutory rape. But he was the child of a drug dealer. So he had a car at a young age. He was driving.
Oh, he had that cash.
He was in Catholic school. He was buying me little Jordans and shit. Had his mama
buying me shoes. How you want to give him that cat?
Yeah. So so that was kind of that, you know.
So you I stayed in my shit. I was with my daughter's father from about 13, 14, all the way up to like 21. Said when I had used to say like when I get 21, I'm not gonna be fucking with him because he do me one and I want to do shit. I'm finna be grown. I can go outside with my own ID. Ain't gotta use no fake ID. I'm finna be out here in these streets. These grown niggas like I like to be and ride when we were out of there.
Yeah. So my second relationship with my son's father, that was the extent of the long relationship. Now we were together for 12 years. And that was like a traumatic experience as well. It was more traumatic than the first one, actually, because he ended up going to jail for 10 years. So it was kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I already wasn't with him. He wasn't a great father. It was like, but his family was there. So it was like that was out of sight, out of mind. I had learned at an early age that wasn't love. That was like some puppy love shit. And I really was 15. Like I was a real life kid. I look at my daughter now at 20 and be like, you're a kid. So that was gone. So I still thought I was grown and now I got me somebody who really playing in the street. So the money was a little different. So my grown ass thought I could go leave home. But the thing is, I left and I never came back. And it's kind of like, I pride myself on that. But then again, it's like, I should have stayed my ass at home.
Let's talk about that. That's the same thing. I literally left home about the same age. Sorry, I didn't know that was I left home about the same age. Look how these stories be so much the prison to the pussy, y'all. Y'all think I be playing. I was 19. My baby daddy also was selling drugs. I said, boy, all this money you get in the cars and shit, we need a place to stay. Because, I also want to be grown because, the sneaking in out the house and all of that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And doing that.
Spending the night.
Right. So, no, I used to my baby to spend a night.
No, my auntie didn't. See, my auntie raised me because